Let's begin solving a system of equations by substitution. Recall systems by graphing has its limitations, especially when the solution contains fractions or decimals. Then in this video, we're going to learn a second method. The substitution method is the most used for solving systems, especially because its use extends beyond what we will do in this video. It will be used again in future topics. So let's cover the steps for this method. The steps read: first, we must select one of the equations and solve for one of the variables. Notice how it doesn't say which equation. It's up to you. It doesn't matter which equation you use, the first or the second. And then you're going to solve for one of the variables. Again, it doesn't specify which variable. You can either solve for x or solve for y. Now, once you have completed step 1, then we go to step 2, and that is to substitute what we found in step 1 in the remaining equation and solve that new equation. And finally, when we are finished with step 2, we move to step 3 and substitute the value that we found in step 2 in step 1 to find the final solution. Notice that there's a lot of substitutions. That's why the method is called the substitution method. So you might be asking, how do we decide which equation to use and which variable to solve for? I will use equation 1 in step 1. And the reason for doing that is because if you notice, this y doesn't have a coefficient, so it will be the easiest to solve because all I have to do is move this 7x to the other side, and I would have already solved one of the equations for one of the variables. So let's try that. Step 1, I'm going to select minus 7x plus y is equal to negative 8. And all I want to do is move those x's to the other side so that I can have y by itself. Since this is a minus 7x, I'm going to add 7x to the other side. We do inverse operation. We do the opposite. Now from left to right, very careful here. Minus 7 plus 7. Well, different signs we subtract. So 7 minus 7 will be 0. That's going to go to 0, leaving me with a y alone. And on the right side, I have these two terms. I have a minus 8 and a 7x. Now, these are not like terms. I cannot combine these. One has an x and the other one doesn't. So I'm going to have to write them separately. It doesn't matter which one you write first. You can write the minus 8 and then the positive 7x, or you can bring down the 7x first and then the minus 8. You will still end up with the same equation. So I'm going to bring the x's first. So I have the 7x that I brought to the right side and the minus 8 that was already there on the right side. So this is the equation for step 1. Step 1 is done. We have selected one of the equations and solved for one of the variables. We move on to step 2. Remember, in step 2, we have to bring the other equation. We have to bring the remaining equation. So that is 3x minus 3y is equal to that negative 12, and we need to substitute what we found in step 1. Well, in step 1, I found that y can be replaced by 7x minus 8. So right here where I see a y, I'm going to replace it with 7x minus 8 and then bring down the rest. So I have a 3x minus 3 before, and then I have that minus 12 equals minus 12 on the other side. All right, don't forget, parentheses is king, so we're going to distribute this value inside the parentheses. So from left to right, I have first this 3x, and then I'm going to multiply 3 times 7, so that will be 21 x's, but one is a minus and the other one is a positive, different signs. That will be minus or negative 21x. And then I'm going to multiply the 3 times the 8. Well, 3 times 8 will be 24. And since they both are minus minus, this will be positive 24. Don't forget that we have that minus 12 on the right side. Now, there are no fractions. Great. So let's combine like terms. In this case, if I combine like terms, that will be the first two. 3 minus 21. Different signs, we subtract and keep the sign of the largest, so that would be minus 18x. Bring down the 24, and then equals to the negative 12. All right, so we're ready to solve the equation then. I'm going to bring it up here just to give myself some more space. So I have negative 18x plus 24 is equal to negative 12. And I see that my variable is located on the left and that it has a multiplication by negative 18 and an addition by positive 24. We always move anything that is being added or subtracted first. So I'm going to move the addition of 24 by subtracting 24 from both sides. And that's going to leave me from left to right with that negative 18x. 24 minus 24, since we're subtracting, 24 minus 24, that will be 0. We don't have to write anything. And on the right side, I have a negative 12 and a minus 24. Since I have the same sign, we add and keep the sign, making this a minus or a negative 36. Now don't forget, this x is still being multiplied by a negative 18, so I'm going to have to divide both sides by a negative 18. From left to right, negative 18 divided by negative 18, that goes to 1. So we have 1x, or just x, equals, on the right side, I have negative 36 divided by negative 18. Well, 36 divided by 18 is 2, and the negative will make that a positive 2. So we found the value of x. But be very careful. Remember, the solution, it's an ordered pair, x and y. So right now, all we have is the x. We need to go find the y. And we do that by completing step 3. We're going to substitute what we found in step 2 back in step 1. Well, let's see. In step 1, we got this equation. Let's write it down here. So this is step 3. I bring the equation from step 1. That was y equals 7x minus 8, and then I replace what we found in step 2. I'm going to replace the x's with a 2. So the x gets replaced by a 2, and then I bring everything else. Y equals 7 minus 8. We multiply 7 times 2. That's going to give us 14. So y equals 14 minus 8. And one last step, we're going to subtract this 14 minus 8, and we find that the value for y is going to be 6. So now that I have the x value and the y value, I have my solution. X is first, so this will be 2 and 6. Now, you can actually check if this is a solution by substituting back into the equation. That means if you go back to the original equations and you substitute the value, the x's with 2's and the y's with 6, you will find that the left side, what you get on the left side of the equation, is going to be the same value as the right side. Let's try one more example for this section. Now, since we have used the first equation for step 1, I'm going to select the second equation this time around. So in step 1, I'm going to select 5x minus 10y is equal to 30. Again, I'm using the second equation to show you that it doesn't really matter. Since we have been solving for y, for example 1, let's solve for x this time. Just to show again that it doesn't really matter which equation you select or which variable you solve for, you should still end up finding a solution. So if I want to solve for x this time, I need to move this 10y to the other side. Since the 10y is a minus 10y, I'm going to add 10y to both sides. From left to right, that will leave me with 5x. Now, minus 10y plus 10y, different signs, we subtract. So 10 minus 10 will go to 0, equals, remember on the right side, these two are not like terms. We cannot combine them. One has a letter and the other one doesn't. On the previous example, we put the letter first and the number second, so we're going to do it the other way, just to show again that it doesn't matter. So I have 30 plus 10y. Now we're not done yet. I need to solve for x completely, so I'm going to have to divide every single term by that 5 that is being multiplied times x. So this gets divided by 5, divided by 5, divided by 5. So from left to right, 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1x, or just x. And then I have 30 divided by 5, so that is going to be 6. And then I have 10 divided by 5, so that's going to be 2. And we found our equation in step 1. We move to step 2. Remember, since we used the second one in step 1, I'm going to use the remaining one in step 2. So I'm going to use 2x plus 3y is equal to minus 16. So the way that we use substitution means that we're going to replace this x with the values that are on the right side. So this time, this x is going to be replaced or substituted by 6 plus 2y. We bring down the rest. So I bring, before that we have the 2, and after I have this plus 3y is equal to negative 16. To solve equations, remember parentheses is king. So 2 times 6 will give us 12. And then 2 times 2y will give us 4y. Bring down the rest. So it says plus 3y is equal to negative 16. There are no fractions, but there are like terms. So this will give me 12 plus 7y is equal to minus 16, because 4y plus 3y, we add the coefficients and bring down the variables. I'm going to bring this up to give myself some more space here. So I have 12 plus 7y is equal to negative 16. Okay, so our variable is on the left and is being multiplied by 7. And I know this because there is no symbol between them. You see the 7 and the y are next to each other. That means multiplication. I can write it down if you like. And on this one right here, this is addition. So between moving addition or multiplication, we always move anything that is being added or subtracted first. So I'm going to move this positive 12 by subtracting by 12. We do the opposite here. So 12 minus 12 from left to right, that will be 0, leaving me 7y. Equals, on the right side I have negative 16 and negative 12, same sign. We add and keep the sign, giving me minus 28. And then remember, we still have to deal with this multiplication by 7, and the opposite of multiplication will be division. From left to right, 7 divided by 7 will be 1y, or just y. Equals, on the right side I have negative 28 divided by 7. Well, 28 divided by 7 is 4. The different signs will make this a negative 4. But wait, there's more. What we've done is find the value of y. We just finished step 2. And remember that the solution, again, has an x and a y value. It still has a step 3 to complete. It says that I replace or substitute what I found in step 2 into step 1. So then step 3, I bring the equation from step 1, this one here, x is equal to 6 plus 2y, and then I replace the y with a negative 4. So let's do that. So the y gets replaced by substitute by negative 4. Bring down the rest. X is equal to 6 plus 2 times negative 4. So let's multiply. So if I multiply, this will be x equals 6, and 2 times 4 will be 8, but because I have different signs, that's negative 8 or minus 8. And then lastly, I will have to subtract this. 6 minus 8, we subtract, keep the sign of the largest, so that means that x has a value of negative 2. Now we have to be very careful because, remember the solution again, is an x and a y. So that means that I'm going to have to write that -2 first, or -2, and then the -4 for the y. And this becomes a solution to our system of equation. Remember, this means if we were to graph them, this is a point, the location where the graphs will meet, where they will intersect. Or if we substitute the value into each of these equations, that means that the left side will equal to the right side.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.